Uja, greetings. I am Sunu Set Nehast Ra. Welcome to our early morning ancient Egyptian devotion, dedicated to Goddess Net in all her mystic forms, gods and goddesses, who are derived from her transcendental essence. The liturgy, which you will be able to see on screen, is recited in the ancient Egyptian language, the Meduneter. English and Brazilian Portuguese translations is provided for you. You can see these translations on screen, directly below the hieroglyphic text transliteration. You are welcome to participate by chanting along in your worship space, home, or wherever you may happen to be during the service. Or you are also welcome to listen quietly in a contemplative mood. Following the devotional known as Uwashu in the Kemetic language, the recitation of the liturgy and meditation known as Uwa in the Kemetic language, we will have a brief wisdom known as Rek in the Kemetic language teaching by Sihu Kepra Ankh, leader and priest of the Djehuty Neter Temple of Net. Before we begin, please remember to mute all devices. We will now begin. Presented on the screen at the moment is a stone-carved depiction of the facing pylons of the Temple of Net from the statue of Khemet. On the left and right sides are the pylons in which one of the symbols of Goddess Net sits atop of a papyrus standard. Her emblem is her two arrows crossed and tied to her shield. This symbolizes the protection and resurrection of the soul within this place, the temple. Behind the emblems of Net on both sides are the flags, which mean Neter, divinity. In the center of the pylons at the bottom is the opening to the temple, and above that is a pyramidal structure which symbolizes the four equilateral planes of the universe and the mystic number 4. Above that, at the very top, is the cow hieroglyph, which means rising. It symbolizes the sun rising between the mountains, the Aket symbol, and for the initiates, the emergence of spirit consciousness. Net nesumer puneter amine. Jedef nesu hatepti net perkeu. Benket mert hepsed neb enkael. Geri hertep ssn. Net inat ren jeta net nesumer puneter and eden jedef nesu hatepti net perkelu. Benket mert hepsed net enkaen. Gary Hepertep SSN Mhetnet Hinat Ren Fjeta Net Nesumer Puneter Emine Jedef Nesuhata Dinet Perkeru Menket Mert Emhep Setnep Enkaem Yeri Hepertet SSN Emhetne Inat Ren Fjeta Net Nesumer Puneter Amine Jedef Nesuhatep Dinet Perkeru Menket Mert Emhet Setneb Enkaem Gary Hepertep SSN Emhetne Ina Ren Fjeta Duamu Gerefu Benefem Heruakuti Anate Turkera Nefer Nebuben 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 Adi Jen Sigurt Sedge Ut Kef Ulu Nesudi Hatat Network Didi Esta Amonet Nefer Shepsi Etnet Atep Nesudi Hatep Network Didi Esta Uaba Monet Nefer Shepsi Etnet Atep Nesudi Apep net perkeru. Didi eskau abamonem nefershepsi etne atem. Nesudi Apep net perkeru. Didi eskau abamonem nefershepsi etne atem. Tua imshamsu in Nebujer, Ursashu in Keperu, Dua asar, Neb restal, Paut neteru, Aat ami neteker. Anatet hier kikenti amentet, Un nefer ab abdu, Matentu, Aiku, anek arati, resta. Seteka seker, Aku sari nahas. Ubed center, Set mka, def, sit neter, Oni entet, Hena yashin neter, Asar, Erdit endek, En ari heru, Hena herme, Endes ari heru, Aus uwatepi. Ari sech, Al, Ua neter, Abu pen ha asar, Abu pen asar, Spur em heru. Arit pert, Nehas sa, Uajit pa neter, Asa ari heru, Hept em, Aset, Abuye, Tuche. Medut yam, Aset sam ujat, Setep saher emseti, Anti amsa asa, Sa emseti, Asar emseti. Medut nebet het, Hapsheta, Ari besa, Her happy and tea. Sa asar, sa happy, asar pu happy. Medut yan, net seduara, semesha hu, nep ari maket el. Duamutef, and ti amsa asa. Sa duamutef, asar pu duamutef. Medut yan, serket inka ke sekedet. Sa ru, neb, ari maket, en kwepsunef. Entet amsa asar, sa kwepsunef. Asar pu kwepsunef. Yanater emnuen duacheta Yanatera Emnuen Duacheta Nebuchadnezzar Medut Anatet Hirke Asar Putra Makti Sake Setu Sakake Nebuchadnezzar Medut Anatet Hirke Asar Putra Makti Sake Setu Sakake Nebuchadnezzar Medut Anatetchirke Asar Putra Makti Sake Setu Sakake Nebuchadnezzar Medut Anatetchirke Asar Putra Makti Sake Setu Sakake Adi Jensikert Adi Duaker Pekao Uashu Net Duanet Sefekera Senues Net Duanet Sefekera Senues Net Duanet Sefekera Senues Net Duanet Sefekera Senues Amun Moon Ansu Moon Moon Ansu Amun Moon Ansu Moon Moon Ansu Om Amun Rapata Om Amun Rapata Om Amun Rapata Om Amun Rapata Om Sara Sereru. Om Sara Sereru. Om Sara Sereru. Om Sara Sereru. Keru ma keru. Keru ma keru. Keru ma keru. Keru ma keru. Ase. 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 Amaera neke akuja sene arineteru 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 duaya Nuke atien keperu. Nuke atien keperu. Nuke atien keperu. Nuke atien keperu. Ereru. 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 Nook Nebejer. Nook Nebejer. Nook Nebejer. Nook Nebejer. Nefer Remtra and Atom. Nefer Remtra and Atom. Nefer Remtra and Atom. Nefer Remtra and Atom. Makeru Emba Nebejer. Makeru Emba Nebejer. Makeru Emba Nebejer. Makeru Emba Nebejer. Nuk Ua Ua. Nuk Ua Ua. Nuk Ua Ua. Nuk Ua Ua. Nukmat, 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 Newt. Newt. Asa, rasa, rasa, asa, 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 asa. Pete au, anklijad, uas hena nefu kepitu, embaat endija sunu imhotep. Aset, ua suja heru, suja menut, nebu senef set, ef senasar, aset hetepi, suja auitu yasor, nesheshu nebu, anahu shemu metu tau sep, nebu neshteta, ua menti heru kut teken, an apt, tesu ken, hena sefa ha ha, digit kat, hena asa peta, keperu, medut ka, kat, nefi asa keperu, uahai, uaker. Nuke aset, perke umnayet, ret enau setter, sa meru en Djehuty, her tepmad, empet ta atert, aset neter nefer ger, pu ankseski, SD A ament. Sa and Ken. Pu F and N. Au F. Ready F. Nepcap. Dit Hetap. F her F T ent and F Tawi. Uahai. Uaker. Eruma Keru. Eruma Keru. Eruma Keru. Eruma Keru. Nerait Mesra. Nerait Mesra. Nerait Mesra. Nuk Kepra Mduau. Ra Emahauf. Temu Ami Meshe. Nuk Kepra Mduau. Ra Emahauf. Temu Ami Meshe. Nuk Kepra Mduau. Ra Emahauf. Temu Ami Meshe. Uahai. Uaker. says, let earth, let earth, let earth arise. Djehuty, Djehuty, netter, netter, mu, neper, Djehuty, Djehuty, netter, netter, neper, Djehuty, Djehuty, netter, netter, ooh, neper, Djehuty, Djehuty, Uasheri, Uatefaha, Aha em Mete, Emma, Em Mete, Emma, Em Mete, Emma, Em Um, 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 Apep, 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 Apep. Peace, 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 peace. Apep, dua, Apep.
Uja, greetings everyone. One moment. Okay, so we may have a couple new people online this morning. So we'll do a brief review to get everyone up to speed, as they say. So we are at this line 7 of the text of current discussion. And this line comes from, so I'll scroll up quickly. This panel on the western wall of the hypostyle hall of a temple that is located in the city that the Greeks refer to as Thebes, the ancient Greeks. But the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Kemites referred to it as Waset, the city of Waset. And this temple is referred to today as the Karnak Temple. And in ancient times it was referred to as Apep. There's a large hypostyle hall. A hypostyle hall is a large covered hall with many columns. And in this area, we find this depiction. Depicted here on the left, this personality. Let me pull out a pen. This personality is referred to as Djehuty. He's the divinity Djehuty, and his name is written here. And behind him stands a goddess, and we're working towards discussing her mystery. This is a large text of many lines. So for these short presentations that we're doing, okay, okay, so hopefully you can hear better now. These, because it's such a large text, and the way how these lectures are constructed after the devotion, I selected these 17 lines that we'll be discussing. Due to the construct of this class, if you want to call it that. And at the moment, we are at line 7. We're here. So we've completed the discussion of this block of text. Line 7, we are faced with a highly developed cosmology that's related to the human mind. So we'll go through. You can see here, I was pointing out how in the temple of Asar, I was gesturing towards a panel where Djehuty is. And we did all the lines. So it's line 1. Here's Djehuty in his zoomorphic form. As you can see, mostly his popular appearance is the male body with the head of an ibis bird. And here you see him in full ibis form, being worshipped by the initiate. And here are the 8 principles that are associated with him. Nununet, Huhuhet, Kokukat, Amun Amenet. And he shares these 8 principles with another divinity. It's called Ptah. And Ptah is also a divinity of the mind. So there's a correlation between the two. He also appears in the Amduat text, which is the mystery text of the netherworld, which is referred to commonly as the astral plane. Went over nomenclature related to his name. Remember I showed you where I was gesturing? This text is above his head, where it is told that he bestows Sima, meaning, so here it says Sima NNK, so Sima for thou, Sima for you. M Makeru, so Egyptian yoga, here Sima, Egyptian yoga for you, for your spiritual enlightenment. That's what Djehuty bestows. That's the gift that he gives. He gave to humanity. The mystery of yoga mysticism. In the line 2, we discuss the mysteries of the pupils of the eye, because in the text it tells us that he brings the pupils. And so we discuss those mysteries. Here he is giving the eye to Heru. And this is from the book of the Amdua. So he appears in the Amdua text prominently. Here we're talking about some of the mysteries of the sons of Heru. And all of this pertain to the eye. It was a big topic. How the eye relates to the brain, structures of the brain. So brain science encoded in the ancient Egyptian mysteries before you had CAT scans, MRI machines, and any of that. Here's a mummified brain. Some substantiation texts about brain knowledge in ancient Egypt from the surgical papyrus, case number 3. Cross-section of the brain, mummified brain, surgical tools, etc. And we discussed the issue of the capturing of the birds relating to control of mind. In line 6, we're talking about coolness related to mental quietude, calm mind. And now we're at 7. And in line 7 it says, Perke aike heru yahen. So stretch out both of your arms so that your personality may measure the vastness and expanse of the universe. So we discussed that issue. You will discover that you are a cosmic being beyond the limits of the concretizing ego, and thus you are not a limited individual being, but a universal cosmic mind being that encompasses the expanse of time. And we discussed that as well. But to go further in this idea, which mystically, it's an idea on paper, but it's a mystical reality, that your posit, your unconscious posit of yourself as an individual human being is a misapprehension. It's a misunderstanding of the reality of being. Essentially, you are a universal consciousness. But due to the manifestations and the mechanics of the ego, the personality has contracted itself and are operating through time as a limited personality with the misapprehension that you are somehow separate from universal cosmic consciousness. It's purely a problem of the ego and egoism. And the mystic path of life is designed, these spiritual teachings are designed to remove that misapprehension so that you can discover your universal cosmic consciousness self, which transcends time. Time is an effect, an illusory effect of space. So if you have the appearance of space, you're going to generate the effect of time. So if you have space, time is going to be encoded in space. And there's going to be the effect of sequential events in space. But if you were to do a close examination of one cosmic consciousness self, one would realize that time is an illusory construct of one's own limited mind. There's something about you that transcends time, that can be realized, but you still have to operate in the field of illusory time. Meaning, if you have an appointment for 3 o'clock, you're not going to show up at 8 at night. You still have to give space its due, while realizing the underlying mystic nature of self. And through this process, recall this is Djehuty speaking, so he is delineating or illuminating this process. That if you discover your cosmic mind nature and continue your expansion, cosmic mind expansion, you would expand into eternity. So the universe is essentially a mental idea. In other words, the universe is a concept in the mind of God. And we have to be careful when we use the term God. We're not talking about an individual concretized entity with human failings and wrathful and jealous and all this kinds of stuff. So let's call it Nebuchadnezzar. Let's call it all-encompassing divinity, which transcends time and is limitless and all-expansive. Unfabricated, unformed essence. Through the illusion of creation, a mind is generated. There's a cosmic mind, and that mind produces an idea, a concept of what time and space would be, of what temporality would be. And that idea of temporality is what you call the universe. The universe is an idea, a concept in the cosmic mind of the divine. And there are certain forces that are trying to counter the sustaining power of that idea. For example, if you make a thought in your mind, whatever thought that might be, it doesn't remain forever. Your thoughts come and go. And the force that causes your thoughts to go, that's referred to as entropy. So entropy is an indwelling force in your thought mechanism, so that thoughts are not sustained indefinitely. What it would be if you had a thought in your mind and you couldn't get rid of it. It just stays. So there needs something to counter the thought, and that is referred to as entropy. And the divinity that represents that is referred to as Apep. Similarly, there's this force of entropy that if overpowers creation, would bring creation down to its essential nature, essential essence. So instead of having planets and stars and moons and earths and all this Milky Ways, galaxies and all this, will all collapse, and what would remain would be Nebuchadnezzar, would be supreme consciousness. So this force of entropy is trying to bring creation to an end. And it actually works. Scientific studies have shown that quanta, or very minute particles, come in and out of existence all the time. So that's on a quantum level. On a more macro level, it works as well. If you buy a car, 10 years from now, the car is not going to be the same as the day you drove it off of the lot. And 150 years from now, it'll not be the same. 500 years from now, it'll just be a lump of stuff. It'll start rusting, degrading, breaking down, reverting back to its essential nature. That force also operates in the universe. And if that force overpowers creation, then that creation dissolves. Ra in his boat, you just saw. Mdu'au, Ra, Auf. So, Kepra in the morning, Ra in the afternoon, Tem in the evening. Du'au. Ra travels his boat from morning to evening. And as long as his boat travels, the three phases of the sun remain: morning, afternoon, and evening. And he goes into the netherworld as Afu, and then he comes back up again in the morning, and creation is sustained. And the force that is trying to counter that is Apep, the serpent Apep. But in the boat with Ra is Set Nehast Ra, a form of Set. And Set Nehast Ra is, with his spear, is fending off Apep, so that creation can be sustained for the benefit of souls who are going through the process of self-discovery. And this process of disintegration also works in your spiritual process, your spiritual program. And Apep is trying to counter your expansion, your discovery of eternity. If Apep overcomes your spiritual program, your expansion will collapse, you'll contract on yourself, and you'll ascertain yourself as an ego personality. Once again, you'll operate through egoism. You'll be an ego-identified being. Your spiritual process of mystic expansion will be disrupted. How you counter that force of opposition to mystic expansion is through purification of ego. Purified ego. So you have to sublimate the egoism, transform your negative emotional states and conditions, and purify the forces of mind. That is to say, your 7 psycho-spiritual energy center system. It has to be purified. And on top of that, maintain concentration of mind. The key is concentration. If you lose concentration, you're standing online at the bank and you're getting upset and angry, and why is this line isn't moving, and or you're getting into arguments with people and fighting, and you've lost concentration. And when you lose concentration in your time and space existence, it's going to impede your formal meditative practice. It's going to have a negative impact on your formal meditative practice. And so it's going to impede on your expansion in consciousness. Why? Because entropy have overtaken you. It has come in the form of anger, resentment, jealousies, whatever the negative emotional states are. And to avoid those negative states, purify mind, purify ego through the practice of yoga mysticism, devotional chanting and worship and opening your heart to the divine, wisdom teachings, righteous action, truth action, service to humanity, and the regular, daily, constant practice of meditation. You put all of those together, and what will happen is you'll begin to counter the force of Apep, that force that is vying to impede your movement through space as Ra consciousness. You follow, you are Ra in the boat, and Apep is trying to impede your movement of higher consciousness through the world. And if Apep is successful, you will be moving through the world. Your movement through the world will disintegrate. So you'll not be expanding, you'll be grounded on the earth as a normal egoic personality. And that's counter to spiritual enlightenment. So we'll stop there for today, and we'll come back next week to expand, to go further in line 7. And I have one Heteru says, Set Nehast Ra, form of Set, seems to be helping creation to continue to exist by fending off Apep. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And Set is the divinity of ego. But when ego becomes highly purified, he's transformed into Set Nehast Ra. So Set in the service of Ra. So the ego in the service of spirit consciousness. And that's how that system relates to you. So your purified ego protects you from disruption of spiritual expansion. That's how it works within you. And we may be... Okay, so there's another in the chat. Dua. Apep. No problem. It's good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Don't be a stranger. Come again next week. Apep. So we might be planning a trip to Khemet for next year. So if you're interested, we're in the preliminary talks of it, trying to work things through. So if you're interested, please send an email so that we can generate a list of people who may be interested on a Sunu trip to Kemet. Okay, so dua everyone till we meet again. Djehuty, 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 Djehuty. Dua Djehuty. Hit that. And I'll try to get this up on the YouTube today and the one from last week. Dua everyone.